Hey, this is Pizza Dude Man Guy, and this topic was suggested by Art Kuvis. I always did believe that Byleth was the best choice to represent three houses in Super Smash Bros., but Edelgard was my second. She's only the main lord in one route in the game, but for the rest of the routes, she's the main villain. So no matter what, she always has a major role in the story, and she has other really cool elements to bring to Smash. She'd be a full-fledged axe wielder, she's a fully armored character, lots of new things that we haven't seen out of a Fire Emblem character in Super Smash Bros. Now, I actually was working on an entire Edelgard 4 Smash video, and while I was editing it, Byleth was announced for Super Smash Bros., and because of the online backlash, I decided I didn't want to be involved, and I scrapped the video. But here's what I remember about the moveset I made. Obviously, it was all axe-based fighting style, you know, very heavy, big, strong single hits for a lot of the moves, using animation references from Three Houses, which had plenty between all the different playable classes and their different animations using the axe. Now, one thing I remember doing for Edelgard in particular as a bit of a gimmick was, even though she would do these big, slow, heavy axe swings, then her basically end lag animations would be these very elaborate axe twirls as she gets her axe back into neutral position. And these twirls could also deal damage and knockback. So basically, even if she missed with her big attacks, she could then hit somebody with her follow-up attacks. She takes less punishment as a character for her end lag. Now, as for special moves, I just incorporated a lot of other Edelgard's abilities. For instance, neutral special was the spell Bolganone. You know, even though Edelgard can't normally cast spells in her canon class, spellcasting is one of her secret talents, so I wanted to throw in some of those abilities. You know, it's kind of like how they make Robin use Nosferatu in Smash, even though he normally can't in that class. So the way Bolganode worked was kind of like Din's Fire, but grounded. You would have kind of this flaming cursor on the ground in front of Edelgard, and as you held B, you could move it around the ground, and when you release B, it explodes into a volcanic eruption. But the property I gave it was kind of like Pikachu's neutral special. What's that again? Thunder Jolt, where it would wrap around platforms as you're setting the cursor. I thought that would be really neat. For side special, I had a reference to her personal battalion, and the name of that gambit was Raging Flames. So basically, either she or some soldiers of hers would cart out this big cart of explosives, and they would roll around the floor slowly and then eventually fizzle out. But if it hits somebody during that time that it's very slowly rolling across the stage, it creates a massive explosion. So it was a thing that you had to like set up, but with a high payoff. Up special was a reference to her critical animation in, I believe it's either the Armored Lord or Empress class. It might even be both. But it's very Aether-like. She throws her axe up into the air, jumps up, catches it, and slams back down. So it would have been a more power-heavy variant of Ike's Aether. Instead of like hitting opponents into a combo that you then fall down with, it would have been like a two-hit thing where you throw the axe up and that just spikes anyone above you up. So you're not going to hit him with the second part, but then the axe slam back down was super powerful and would bury opponents on the ground. So basically two different types of hits. You could use it in different ways in addition to aiding you with recovery. And for down special, I did use counterattack, which is used by a lot of bosses, including Edelgard. Now, separate from like Marth or Ike's counters, which are up close, like melee attacks, the counter strike ability from Three Houses was like a lightning bolt. So the way it would work here is if someone hits Edelgard while she's doing this pose, you know, holding up her shield, a bolt of lightning appears out of the sky and just flashes down on the opponent. So the advantage that it had over other counters was you could use it as at a range. If someone like shot something at you, boom, lightning hits them from wherever they're at. But it has a fixed knockback and damage, you know, as opposed to the power you can get out of Marth and Ike's counters. What did I do for the final smash? I think I used Hades, which is the strongest spell in Three Houses, and Edelgard is one of the few characters able to learn it. Alternatively, you definitely could use her spoilery final boss form from the Blue Lions route. That would have worked great. I think at the time, because Three Houses was so new, I didn't want to put that into the video. But yeah, those were my ideas on Edelgard for Smash.